His is a lifetime marked by rare achievement and dedication to service. War hero and business pioneer. Congressman from Houston. Ambassador to the United Nations. And chairman of the Republican National Committee. Ambassador to China and director of Central Intelligence. Vice President and 41st President of the United States of America. Still, few outside Harris County are aware of the fact that George Herbert Walker Bush launched his legendary political career within our organization. Early in 1962, the presiding county chairman, James Bertrand, resigned. The Harris County GOP Executive Committee would choose Bertrand's successor, and a local group of party activists visited the Bush residence on Briar Drive, asking George Bush to throw his hat in the ring. The young and successful oil man needed little convincing. "This was the challenge I'd been waiting for," President Bush would later write. "An opening into politics at the ground level, where it all starts."
You got to get started at the local level, I've always believed. And you just can't kind of zoom in at the top. And I think it means a lot. I think getting in early, doing your work in a precinct or for a county party or something like that is important.
The next few weeks were a taste of life in politics that would follow, as 38-year-old George would hit the campaign trail every night, accompanied by his wife, Barbara.
I thought, of course, they'd appointed him, he didn't have to run. And then he ran in every single precinct, and he worked very, very hard.
On February 20th, 1962, George Bush was unanimously elected chairman of the Harris County GOP. Chairman Bush came into his first elected office promising to focus on party unity and building the organization. He also fought to make the GOP competitive at a time when not a single Republican held a county-wide seat. Within the first few months of his chairmanship, some 1,000 conservative Democrats and independents joined the GOP. In short order, people were taking notice. In a March 1963 editorial, the Houston Chronicle observed, "Republicans have a man skillfully matter-of-fact about the endless, important organizing that spells the difference between a loud campaign and an effective one." By the time he resigned in December 1963, after almost 2 years as Harris County chairman, George Bush had grown the party membership and raised enough money to move the county headquarters to a better location. The Texas that George and Barbara Bush discovered in the late 1940s and early 1950s could be a very lonely place for Republicans.
You know, in those days, the dividing line was between conservative Democrats and liberal Democrats. There weren't any Republicans. In fact, being a Republican in Texas back in those days was almost a hanging offense. But George Bush was a solid Republican.
As George Bush set out on the campaign trail challenging Ralph Yarborough in 1964, the GOP had started sowing the seeds of future growth in Texas and Harris County, with John Tower already in the U.S. Senate.
When I started in active party politics, there were no Republicans elected to anything in Texas. And so it's been a dramatic improvement in that sense, and the party continues to grow.
In 2014, Republicans swept every contested county-wide office, and 112 Republican candidates claimed victory in Harris County, giving Republicans their best election results since 2004. For those who wonder if party activism is still worth the effort, the former president has a clear message.
Certainly is, and I don't know that politics is uglier today than it was back then. But yes, it's worth it, and people ought to participate. Not sit around whining about how bad things are, but get in and do something about it.
County chairman, national party chairman, tireless campaigner for GOP candidates as vice president and president of the United States, who also brought the 1990 Economic Summit and 1992 National GOP conventions to his hometown. For his selfless commitment to building the Republican Party in Texas and across the country. For his loyal commitment to Houston. for changing our world for the better, for having the vision to see the future for Republicans in Harris County and in Texas, and the leadership to take them there. Tonight, the Harris County Republican Party pays a well-deserved tribute to one of the greatest Houstonians and Americans in our history, George Herbert Walker Bush.